Hi friends, it's Katie Steinberg here, and I am bringing you once again this week's message from Missing Peace. If you've been following along online, you know that this week was meditation and the theme was calm in the chaos. So there's been a lot happening here in Florida and a lot of chaos, and so this was a chance to recenter and get back in touch with the peace that exists within each of us. Want to remind you that coming up in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be collecting items for hygiene kits so that we can contribute to Irma, and also organizing some teams of people that can help in communities. There's this great website you should know about that's called crisiscleanup.org. So check them out because it gives you an opportunity to connect with people who need help one-on-one without necessarily having to go through a whole bunch of agencies and things. And just stay posted, follow us. You can text PEACE to 33222 and keep up with what we're doing, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. But without further ado, here's this week's message. In the face of tragedy and hardship and injustice, the first place we go is why. Why has this happened? How could this happen? And there are voices out there loudly offering unsatisfying answers. Everything happens for a reason, they'll tell me. Or even worse, in my opinion, if you just believed enough, had faith enough, then you'd have everything you want and nothing bad would happen. Worse than that, most disgusting or disturbing to me, is punishment. Whatever bad storm or event or tragedy is a divine spanking for all our wrongdoing. In the midst of chaos, people want answers. When things feel out of control, people want reasons, explanations, equations for how these things work so that we can somehow prevent them or protect ourselves. But for me, these oversimplified cosmic equations just aren't good enough. Don't tell me everything happens for a reason when my 6-year-old cousin is diagnosed with leukemia. It's not good enough. And certainly don't tell me that lack of faith is the reason that people are going hungry in the richest country in the world. And if you dare venture into some kind of punishment explanation for why Houston is underwater or Irma took lives, not only is it not good enough, it's infuriating. These kinds of questions and the utterly unsatisfying answers only serve to drag us further into the chaos that made us ask them in the first place. So what's the alternative? There's an ancient rabbi you've probably heard of that aptly modeled another way. There's a story when he and his friends are out to sea in a boat and this big storm rolls up. And despite being experienced fishermen and sailors, this storm is enough to shake them up and scare the crap out of them. And their friend, their teacher, this radical rabbi they've been hanging around with, is explaining, why God does this to people and the reasons they're being punished, and warns them they haven't been praying big enough. No, none of that. The truth is, he's sleeping in the boat. They're running around, freaking out, and Jesus is sleeping. So they frantically wake him and beg him to do something, that they're all going to die if he doesn't. So he wakes up and says, "Peace, be still." And soon the storm dies down and the disciples calm down too. Most often this is interpreted as Jesus' divine power over even Mother Nature. In fact, the disciples, his friends and students, seem to interpret it that way. But let me offer a different take. What if it's not a miraculous display of God's powers to make the storm stop mid-rage, but instead is a call to us to hold on to our peace, to stay calm in the midst of chaos, because it never lasts. And we can be so much more, learn so much more if we can hold on to a little peace in the thick of it. May I further offer that it is in the most chaotic moments in our life that are the most formative moments in our life. They show us who we are. They invite us into who we want to be. And if we can keep our heads, if we can listen to the call for peace, be still, might there be even more life, meaning, hope, love, possibility, and peace even when the winds blow and the waters rise and everything that mattered is lost, and hope, even hope, seems impossible. Regardless of if you're in that place right now, or if you know someone who is, or if you ever have been in the swirling vortex of chaos and despair, today we invite you into something more peaceful. Not just a building that we offered, but the peaceful space inside yourself, inherited from your divine heritage and a part of you all along. The hum inside you that comes from the source of all creation and 'tis heard most clearly when we are quiet. Friends, peace. Be still. Amen. At the conclusion of this message, we were led by a dear friend, Alexandria, who took us through a meditative state for 45 minutes, guiding us and inviting us into the deepest parts of ourself, inviting us out of the chaos of the outside world that surrounds so many of us, particularly here in Florida, and invited us into a peaceful, quiet space, the space that resonates with our divine self, with our image in the light of God and being children of God. And it was wonderful. And I invite you, as always, to join us for one of these experiences. As you probably know by now, we go through a rotation of physical activities, spiritual experiences, cerebral engagements, and serving opportunities. And this coming week will be one of our serving opportunities. And we invite you to bring a list of items that's provided on Facebook or on ormansmissingpiece.com or Instagram that will allow us to put together hygiene kits for some people who need them most, particularly in the recovery in the face of these storms that are coming, or have been, hopefully not more coming. And thank you, as always, for tuning in and for watching, and we hope that it brings you a little peace. Grace and peace, my friends.